Hi, this is Lynn, Norman-Teck, Executive Director of the Florida Charter School Alliance. We are here live at the Charter School Conference in Orlando. So many exciting things happening and so many great veteran charter school folks, the people from the beginning that made it happen. And one guest today is Christy Noe. Should I say Dr. Noe?
No, you can just call me Christy.
Christy, please introduce yourself.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you for having me here today, Lynn. This is an exciting time to be back in person. I'm Christy Noe, and I am thrilled that we are at year 25 for charter schools.
Right.
I was young principal back in 1997, and I remember when I was called by a group of founders to ask me if I wanted to be a principal at the first charter school in Collier County back in 1997. And so I know it was 1997 because I was also working with the WNBA, and that was the year they started.
Okay.
So charter schools and WNBA kind of have something in common. About 25 years started. But so I was a principal of, it was called Odyssey Charter School in Collier County. And the founding group was all parents, and it was a middle school located in Naples. No one knew what a charter school was.
Yeah.
And I had been working for the school district and actually had to resign my position to take the job at the charter school. I will say we were the first charter school to close.
Okay.
So it's a good thing and a bad thing, but I think that, a lot of times you learn a lot from mistakes that are made. And one of the issues back then was we had a school with all parents on the board.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they were struggling to get, maybe some other people that were not parents and that passionate and understood what needed to happen with education, more from a policy standpoint.
Yeah, and practicality, because I love parent input, and it's so important. We only exist because of parents, but yeah, some of the things we have to do may not flow with what they want, but we have to because there's state standards to follow.
Right, the accountability piece.
Yes.
And I think back then, 25 years ago, we were just starting this whole journey about, charter schools are here to provide something innovative in exchange for accountability.
Absolutely.
And so that was really critical for me as an educator to ensure that our students were learning and making adequate growth. And so it was a tough thing that happened, but the parents actually learned a lot from that, and they came around later and started another school in Marco Island about 4 years later. So it ended up to be a positive thing. And after that, I actually moved to North Carolina and took a job as a principal at another charter school that was new. And then got recruited to come back to Florida. They had a federally funded resource center back then in the early 2000s.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I moved back here, and we had 33 schools when I was a principal. And then when I came back in 2001, we started exponentially growing with charter schools. And so we provided technical assistance and training to schools all over the state. There are still many principals here today, right now, that I worked with when I was the director for the resource center. And our funding ended in 2005, and I still saw a need for helping support great charter schools. And so that was kind of why the impetus for my company starting in 2006. And we have since then served charter schools and supported them in high quality and ensuring that parents are engaged and, supporting even the relationship between the schools and the school districts, kind of like the work that you do with the Alliance.
Yeah.
But more, we've got people that approach us and want things. And so we help articulate their vision and mission into reality. Absolutely. And get the school open.
And you've worked with some amazing schools, and from the bottom up.
Yes. from the people that have an idea.
From the idea to an actual building. I remember when Patel opened, and I was like, I can't believe this was amazing.
Yeah.
To me, it looked like you just added water, stirred in there. It was.
Yeah, poof. Yes.
Yeah, poof. But that was an incredible journey for you all.
It was.
So describe some of the communities that the charter schools you work with.
Sure.
The vast,
the range,
the range of
absolutely
of kids they serve.
So we work with charter schools that are, a couple of our clients are developers, and so then they've created like Babcock Neighborhood School. They, we built the school before there were any houses there in Babcock Ranch, and it was remarkable that the school was completely full before one house was even built.
Wow.
And so we had a building that we thought we weren't going to fill up, and the first year it was full, and we had to build another building the next year. So, and we had kids coming from all over to that school. So I think, one of the unique pieces that charter schools are able to deliver is if you do something innovative and you do something that kids really want to be a part of and parents see as a value, they're going to come and you're going to attract them. So Babcock Neighborhood School is one of ours that's in a development. We're now working with the Ina A. Colon Academy in Marion County.
Yes.
Similar situation, and so the founder there approached us a couple of years ago, and he wanted to have a school that kids feel loved and that everyone is kind and really focus on the social emotional aspect of it. And it was before COVID hit, and then COVID came, and now social emotional learning has become this huge piece.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we were a little bit ahead of the game, and unfortunately COVID caused it to bring it closer to where we are in doing things. And so that's the school in Ocala. We've got a bunch of colleges that are interested in opening charter schools. So with the new legislation that was just recently passed.
Yeah.
So we're working with, the DOE and the colleges to see what that's going to look like and evolve to be. I remember the Choice Office 25 years ago had a new director almost every year. Do you remember that?
Yes. Yeah.
And we used to play a game like, who was the Choice Office director in 1999? And it was somebody different than 2000.
Yeah.
And so the leadership is definitely evolved even with DOE, and having Adam Emerson in that position for a long time, I think has really stabilized the movement and caused a lot of, it's been good for the growth of the charter schools.
Absolutely. And well, the track record of the charter schools has helped as well, because man, the movement has proven itself.
Absolutely.
Just making academic gains and just doing things right. And you also work with the ESC population, right? So you do help schools ensure that they're compliant and doing it right.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we always tell, in a lot of the schools, we don't help open necessarily, but they call us later and they are struggling to figure out a process. How do you handle kids who have an IEP or a 504 plan? What do we do? What do we need to be providing? And so we're there to kind of just help guide them and explain to them, they're kids like everybody else. And a lot of charter schools' educational approaches are actually great for special ed students. They help both the lower performing kids, and not that all special ed kids are that, and also the higher performing, because they're doing something innovative and different, hands-on, or they're working in small groups. There's a technology focus, and kids are more engaged when you do those types of things.
Absolutely. So it's been 25 years, like you mentioned.
I started when I was 5.
So what have you seen? I guess, what do you think the biggest impact charter schools have made in public education in Florida?
One of the biggest things I believe is Florida is seeing such a growth in even the families that are moving to Florida. And I think our school districts were a lot of them struggling because there's so many students and they're full at capacity. Charter schools have provided sort of that option for parents and students. I think that districts have come a long way in 25 years in understanding that they're all our kids. Yeah. And the collaboration that occurs now that I see between school districts and the charter schools, I think that charter schools have really provided sort of a platform for students who maybe were just kind of lost in the crowd to then all of a sudden, like the young man that's helping with the podcast, to find their place in the world and connect and find something that they love and actually love school. Yeah. And I think, if we look at the graduation rates over time, how our academic performance has improved over the years, charter schools has been a tremendous piece of that growth and the good things that have happened in Florida. And I remember when Jeb Bush even, started with all this and everybody was kind of like, what? But in people, there was a lot of misunderstandings that they didn't have to be accountable academically. Right. And I think we've proven that we are very accountable and do well and can do well. And parents really are excited about being able to have those options and choose to have a school where they can feel like they participate in their child's education.
Absolutely. And teachers have the option too. Because I know the teachers have a right to choose where they work. And if they want to be a little more innovative, there are definitely charter schools for that.
And I one of the other pieces I want to, I think it's important to mention is the CSP grant, how it, I think for new schools, that's so critical because so many charter schools want to do something different, but you've got to have the professional development. You've got to have the training for everybody to be able to actually implement that. And so I'm really thankful that Florida, has been able to continue this grant process for schools and give them the opportunity to ensure they can deliver that high academic, the standards for the teachers and the students through the professional development and grounded in research and ensuring that it's high quality.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for speaking with us today, Christy.
It's been great.
I love working with you. You guys do amazing work.
Yeah, thank you.
It's definitely made an impact in our state.
Thank you. Yeah, and we love what we do, and we will continue doing it as long as we keep loving it. So, and this conference this week has been really energizing for us, and we've been excited. So thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And we love working with you, Lynn. I think the Alliance, what you guys do, is really important for schools, and you're a voice, and sometimes they don't know that they need that voice. And I know that I've seen that evolve over the years, and that's really important for them to have that. So thank you.
My pleasure.